And we say Sitaram to your listeners on Radio Jaagriti, 102.7 FM, our viewers on TV Jaagriti. Hey, those of you joining us home here in Trinidad and Tobago, regionally, internationally as well. Welcome to a special edition of Conversations right here on your number one radio and TV Jaagriti. Of course, at this time, you're accustomed to the program Straight Talk with our CEO, Mr. Lokesh Maharaj. But as we promised you last week, as we promised you on a Monday, when we had no program, we have a special guest with us in the studio, and we're having a special edition of the program, Straight Talk. Of course, we've got with us Professor Peter Baofu with us in studio. Sitaram, and welcome to Radio and TV Jaagriti.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about Peter Baofu.
Well, I am an American author and visionary. I have written more than 160 books in all fields of knowledge, in the social sciences, in the humanities, in the formal sciences, and in the humanities. And I try to propose more than 128 different new theories and visions about the human future in relation to the mind, nature, culture, and society. Ultimately, for some unified theories of everything, not just one, but several of them. And I have been in more than 100 different countries around the world. And I do that intentionally in order to understand humanity on the ground, not just by reading a documentary or watching a film and all that.
So we're privileged and happy that you're sharing some time with us. Earlier on, we can talk about anything, right? 126 new theories.
I also mentioned too India.
Yeah.
I also mentioned that India will be the next dominant superpower too, but it will be the second ranking.
Okay, after China.
But this will be the new giants in the future. They will fight. Fight not mean necessarily physically. We talk about like rivalry.
Okay.
So the future will not be the rivalry between the U.S. versus else. In the farther future, the U.S. will be out. Now, out doesn't mean out of the picture. Out simply means that the dominance will not be between the U.S. and those other powers. In the future, farther in the future, the dominance then will become China and India, for example, and some other powers too. But if you go further ahead, it will not become China and India. It will be the next frontier of human exploration and all that. So everything is so historically contingent. Yeah. But by the way, that book is titled Beyond the World of Titans and the Remaking of World Order, in which I spoke about the emergence of new powers and in this case China and also India, and then you have the EU and the US, but those will be number 3 and number 4, but then you have some other powers too. But you asked the question, small powers, how can they survive? Repeat itself, but also do not repeat itself again. Small powers in human history, they often follow certain patterns. Is that if they are small, they cannot fight the big guys. So how can you fight the big guys? Well, you have to manipulate the big guys so that each of them could be nice to you in a way.
You become a friend of them.
Yeah. So if you are one here and one here, one giant, I cannot fight you, but I will be nice to you in case you beat me. I say hello, hi.
You go in the other direction.
Can you help me out? If you beat me out, I say well, hello. Can you beat me out? So small powers are often very clever. They often manipulate, but some of them sometimes they make mistakes. It's just like sometimes you can be very emotional, you can be very angry, and then you make some judgments which turns out to be incorrect, and they will swallow you, or they will attack you, or conquer you, or colonize. So Georgia is a good example. Georgia provoked Russia. They think that Georgia made a mistake in siding with the US and the EU, they will be fine. Russia could never dare to attack. They did. And now they still occupy some of the... So when you provoke them, you give them that excuse to come in and take you. Venezuela is another good example. Now there is the opposition and the government somehow they do not get on. They fight now. Now the opposition is inviting some major powers to come in and fund them and help them. This is very bad for Venezuela because it is the same problem in Libya, in Yemen, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Mali, and all that. So you have a chance. You have an opportunity but you also have some pitfalls that you have to avoid.
Be careful of.
But people sometimes make mistakes in life.
Yeah. So we're quickly out of time. It certainly was a pleasure having you here. And as you can tell, listeners and viewers, there's so much that we can talk about and certainly keep going on and on and on. I've got an extensive list here that I can just pull any topic from, and Professor would be able to elaborate on it. But once again, thank you very much for joining us and sharing this hour with us here on Radio and TV Jaagriti.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation.
So here's where we wrap up this special edition of the program, Conversations, right here on your number one, Radio and TV Jaagriti. News at 5 is up next. See you.